Hi, I'm going to be telling this in a friend's perspective because this is her story, but she does not have TikTok. When I was younger, I was very curious. My mom was on a phone call and both my sisters were outside playing with their friends. I was only like 6 or 7. So little me, not knowing what this was, I went onto the counter and looked in the cabinets. I saw a bottle filled with little pink tablets. It was medicine, meant for little babies. That's why they were all so small. I took them and ran across the hall right into my room. I was eating them while watching YouTube and stuff. I ate almost half the can. I fell asleep on my bed. And then, a little later, I got up and I had to go to the bathroom. It wasn't throw up or anything like that. But I was walking across the hall and I was chewing something. My mom realizes, "What are you eating?" Come back for part 2. Bye, guys. Part 2. My mom sees me running across the hall. "What are you chewing?" she says. By the way, I was eating medicine and I didn't know. They were just so good. I thought I was in trouble, and basically I was. I put the pills behind my back. My mom takes my hand and sees what I was eating. She asked me, "How much of these were there?" "About a whole bottle," I reply. My mom screams. The bottle was more than half empty. My mom runs into the kitchen. She hangs up with her friend. She gets in the car and dashes to the store. She gets this weird type of medicine. I started to feel nauseous and sick. My older sister came into the room with her friend. They were both comforting me. Finally, my mom gets home. Come back for part 3. Bye, guys. See you soon. Hope you enjoyed this. It was Halloween night, and I was hanging out with a girl I didn't really want to hang out with. She was a troublemaker, but her parents never knew that. Our parents were great friends, so that's why I was with her. We were trick-or-treating for like 2 hours, and we got a bunch of candy. And then she invited me over for a sleepover, but I had no other choice to stay. It was getting really late, and it was like 1 a.m. now. She told me, "We have to go on Omegle, we have to. There's so many weird people on there, and it'll be so fun. What if we meet a celebrity?" I was super nervous, but I didn't want her to get mad at me, and I didn't want to seem like a scaredy cat and go home, so I just said okay. We put our liking and favorite thingy as Halloween. We were in our costumes, and there were a bunch of little kids in their costumes and stuff. I was just kind of sitting quietly. She was passing by a bunch of little kids and stuff. Then it gets super creepy. Come back for part 2. By the way, this is all a fan story. Bye. Part 4. My friend started to go. I quickly got on my boots and started to run after her. I tried to grab her, but it didn't work. She told me, "Stop, it's really fun. Come on, live a little bit. It's Halloween night." Well, it was actually 3 in the morning, and I was freaking out. Before she got too far, I quickly found a bike in her garage. It was old and slow, but it worked. I took a short way around to the park. I was freaking out, and there was no one there, but then I saw her pull around the corner, and she was looking everywhere for somebody. All I saw were some people trick-or-treating still. Teenagers. Then we saw a light. Come back for part 5. Part 3, sorry it took so long. So, we were on Omegle, and after we passed this really creepy guy, he asked us to go to the park. My friend really wanted to. I really did not want to because I knew it was a horrible idea. My friend said, "Come on, what's the worst that could happen?" I said, "Are you kidding me right now? He could literally kidnap us, and he's probably lying. He could be a super old man. There can be so many things that can go wrong." My friend said, "So what?" My friend started to get on her jacket. I sat there in silence. She wanted to get her bike out, but I stopped her. "Don't you dare go. This is a horrible idea." She ran away and got her bike. My friend said, "I'm going. I don't care what you say. Live a little. Come back for part 4 soon." Part 2. So we were on Omegle, and it got super scary. We passed by this guy. He was wearing a blue beanie and a black hoodie. We didn't think anything of it until he asked us truth or dare. I was staying quiet, but my friend decided to say, "Dare." I was so scared. This random guy that we didn't even know told us, "Meet us at the park." Us? I said under my voice. She was excited, and she actually kind of wanted to go. All she said was, "Excuse us for a moment." She brought me over into the bathroom. She said, "Do you want to go?" Me, being the actual smart one, said, "No way, this could be super dangerous. We don't even know who these people are." She wanted to go so bad. Come back for part 3. Part 5. So I saw a light. The light got bigger and bigger, and then I saw a white truck. Not a van, just a normal pickup truck. 2 people got out of the car. Then someone tapped my shoulder. I screamed and go to swing and punch. But it was just my friend. But she moved and dodged the punch. She said, "I'm kind of scared, but this is so crazy and cool." The guys got out of the truck and they said, "So I see." As I started walking closer, I had to call 911. My friend was so mad at me, but I had to. I knew this would not end well. I grabbed my friend and I made her get on the bike and ride away. I finally convinced her. Before we rode away, the cops came and they were arrested. That was crazy, guys.
Story time about how this one girl bullied me so bad she tried to beat me up, but guess what? The joke was on her because my sister beat her up. I was in 8th grade and I was bullied pretty badly, but this one girl in particular who didn't like me would make my life miserable. This girl was in 10th grade and I was in 8th grade at the time. I didn't defend myself at the time. I was really just scared of everything and everyone because I got bullied so much. And my sister knew that, which is why she was always looking out for me. She always had my back. So the bully, let's call her Jackie. Jackie started leaving me mean notes in my locker. And at the time, I guess I didn't really know if it was her. It could have been many people since I got bullied by many people. And the kids in my class would group around me whenever I would go to open my locker just to see my reaction when I would read the mean things she left in the notes. So for example, she would make fun of my acne and my big lips. But it got so much worse. One day I was walking down the hallway and she comes up right behind me and spills fake blood all over my back, making it look like I had my period. I was mortified, and she did this in front of everyone when we were on break. Then in front of everyone, she says that she's gonna beat me up at lunch and that I better be there, so come back for part 2. Part 2. So Jackie the bully spilled fake blood down my back, making it look like I had my period, and then she announced to everyone that she was going to beat me up at lunch and that I better be there. The bell rings and someone tells me that she's waiting for me at the soccer field. My God, I was so scared. Of course, I wasn't planning on going, but 3 of the girls in my class literally took me by my arms and took me to the soccer field. Gosh, were they mean. And of course, there's a whole audience waiting for me. Jackie was right in the center. As soon as I get there, she starts yelling at me. And you know what I did? I asked her, "Why do you hate me so much?" She actually didn't know what to say. She stayed quiet. So I asked her, "What did I do to you?" Then she said she saw me on a commercial in our local channel and that it made her really angry. And I said, "Is that all?" Then she said that she didn't like my face either. She starts pushing me backwards. She pushed me a few times and I fell back. She was literally about to kick me when I hear my sister yelling from behind the crowd saying, "Why don't you pick on someone your own size?" The crowd parts and my sister comes through and tells Jackie to leave me alone. Then she tried to kick me again and my sister tackled her to the ground. Come back for part 3. Part 3, as Jackie the bully is trying to kick me, my sister tackles her to the ground. Well, Jackie got really scared because she was not expecting that. And my sister picks her up from the floor and throws her into a bush. Jackie starts to cry and she says that she's going to tell on my sister. Well, my sister says, "I have all the notes that you've been sending to my sister and we can compare it to your own handwriting." Guess who they'll believe? My sister took me to the principal's office and we gave her all of the notes and I told her everything that happened. So the principal went and searched Jackie's backpack. Guess what she found? Scissors and tape. Jackie confessed that she wanted to tie my hands and cut off all my hair. She got suspended from school for 3 days. When she came back, her parents took her to my classroom and made her apologize in front of everyone. If you're being bullied, speak up.
Story time about why my lunch lady always hated me in high school. I never thought this would happen to me. This story takes the biggest turn at the end. Okay, so it first started off as just my lunch lady eyeing me weird. Whenever I would enter the cafeteria or whenever I would pay for my food, she would always give me the weirdest look. And then sometimes she wouldn't even let me get lunch. She would say, "Oh, you don't have enough money on your account." When I knew the day before I just put money in. So then I wouldn't be able to eat lunch. I reported her a couple times. Mind you, my mom works at the school. I even told my mom about it. She would just lie and be like, "I never said she couldn't get her food." Mom told me that if she ever refused to let me get food again, to just come up to her classroom bathroom and then she'll give me something to eat. But I was so confused because my mom works at the school and I expected her to talk to administration about how the lunch lady is treating her daughter. But she didn't say anything to administration until one day. This time I actually didn't have any money in my account and I did not know. Went to go get my lunch as usual. When I go to check out my food, the lunch lady throws her hands up, knocks my plate out of my hand. She says I'm just like my mom because we're both greedy. Like for part 2. This is part 2 of why my lunch lady always hated me in high school. So like I said, this time I actually didn't have any money and I went to check out my food for lunch. The lunch lady knocks my plate over and says I'm just like my mom since we're both greedy. And I had no idea what she meant. Said she meant to throw her hands up. She didn't mean to knock over my plate. Everyone was looking at us and it was so awkward, so I just walked away. And I didn't even sit down for lunch. I just walked out of the cafeteria and went straight to my mom's classroom. I had no idea what the lunch lady was talking about. My mom doesn't even talk to her. Or at least I thought she didn't. So like I said, I was on the way to my mom's classroom after the lunch lady yelled at me in front of the whole entire cafeteria. And once I got to my mom's classroom, I told her exactly what happened. She was in the middle of class. When I tell you my mom stormed out of her class, went straight to the cafeteria, pulled up on the lunch lady in front of everybody, and she grabs her by her hair. The lunch lady tried to grab to the cash register. The cash register fell and money went everywhere. All you could hear was the coins dropping on the floor like ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching. I was so close to jumping in, but my mom had her. Other teachers had to come into the cafeteria to break them up. Didn't get a time to like for part 3. Okay, so this is part 3 of why my lunch lady always hated me in high school. Like I said, my mom dragged the lunch lady in front of everyone in the cafeteria. Some teachers came and pulled them apart. They immediately fired my mom, obviously. My mom said, forget this, forget y'all, and she took me and we both went home. Well, on the way home, she told me the beef with the lunch lady. So apparently the lunch lady had been flirting with the history teacher. And my mom and the history teacher were seeing each other on the low. My mom was married. So I was like, so what about dad? She said that my dad just didn't make her happy anymore. But the problem with the lunch lady was the fact that all the teachers at my school are messy as fuck. They all talk shit about each other. They're always talking about another teacher. And so basically all the staff knew, just because of rumors and gossip, that my mom and the history teacher were kind of seeing each other. Everyone knew, including the lunch lady. So once the lunch lady started flirting with the history teacher too, they low-key started having tension with each other. But it was unnecessary for the lunch lady to take out her anger on me, so that's why she whooped her ass. By the way, this happened when I was in high school. I am now graduated out of college. And my parents are divorced now, so.
I was at Target minding my own business, and this little 13-year-old comes up to me and he tells me if he could get a hug for National Hug Day. And his shirt said Nationals, so it kind of threw me off. And I was trying to be nice. I'm like, oh yeah, for sure. And he gives me a side hug and tell me why he puts his hand down to my butt. He walks away really fast and I'm just holding onto my cart like, what the hell? And I started thinking, okay, maybe he accidentally did it. So then I realized that this little kid is following me around the store. And he comes up to me again and he tells me, can I get another hug? And I'm like, no, you could not. And where are your parents? And he starts freaking out and he tells me that him and his friend are doing a competition at Target. And I did not see another little kid in there. Kid was super creepy. I ended up letting one of the employees there at Target know. And let me tell you, I grabbed all my stuff and I left because I was not about to deal with that type of vibe.
Story time about the girl who beat my ass because she found out I hooked up with her dad. A little background information. I was a junior in high school and I was looking for a job to save up some money for college. So I decided I would try out babysitting. Well, one of the senior girls told me that her parents were looking for a babysitter during the weekdays for her younger sister. And I was like, period, because I needed to make some money. So she gave me her dad's phone number and I texted him the next day. Well, fast forward, I had been babysitting them for a month at this point. Well, during the winter time, this girl's mom had to go to LA for a business trip. And the trip was like 4 days long, Monday through Thursday. Or at least she was supposed to come home Thursday morning. So I was there every day of the week watching their daughter pretty much. Wednesday night I had to sleep over because their dad was going to a bachelor party. My parents were fine with it because my bus stop was like right outside their house. So I was sleeping on the couch and I heard her dad stumbling at like 3 in the morning. He was drunk as hell, and I don't really remember a lot. All I know is that we kissed. Turns out the mom set up nanny cams before I started babysitting. Friday morning, I was just sitting on the bus, and their older daughter came up to me and punched me right in my face.
This is why I never trust anybody they chatted. Like for part 2. Part 2, sorry for the long wait. When I opened up the group chat, I got really nervous because it said, I know where you are. I started getting scared because it was 2 people knowing where I live. So I unfriended both of them and blocked them. I joined the same game and got another friend request from somebody. This time, the name was LadyMan256 because in the beginning it was Ladybug. So, I don't know. I accepted it because at the time, like I said, I thought having a lot of friends was cool. They chatted me linking my email. I got really nervous. When I clicked the email, it had pictures of me. I kept on getting spam accounts from my phone messages, and it kept on saying, "Why did you do that? Why did you do that?" And I'm guessing it's because I blocked them. Like for part 3.